Today is still May 20th, 23. Today, believe it or not, things were still going on. Even with the last video. I was out on my clients on Turquoise Street, and I heard him outside. It is what's going on, that it is in jail, isn't he? I wouldn't put it past it. Because I told you, I worked at a bank, and the one regional watched this lady in this other bank, and they had caught her stealing, so they wanted to see how many other people she was stealing from, and watched her for a couple weeks, and then went down and arrested her. And they went down and took care of it. See, that's where Will badgered me on the phone. It's illegal to badger somebody on the phone. It's illegal to call somebody a liar. If you try to give an agent or an officer a statement, if they believe you or not, they have to look into it and follow through. It's badgering. Badgering is an obstruction to justice, tampering with evidence, and tampering with witnesses. You know, in every crazy story, there's always a little bit of truth, if not a whole truth. So they can't ever call you a liar. You can report them and they lose their badge and they can go to jail 5 to 20 years. That's how much they cannot call you a liar. And see, that's where the Tuscarora sheriffs, you can never tell anybody not to believe somebody and not to help them. You go to jail for that. You do. See what I mean? So where I try to tell that agent, somebody told on me at that church, he called me a flat out liar. He goes to jail for that. Dave said he talked to him. April 15, 16, or 23, he told Danny on a tap phone that he had seen an agent up that church asking about threats on my life, and that he talked to him personally. And he said he was the only agent from that agency looking into it on his own. Where Pamela yelled, "My God, I had an FBI agent in my office." Dave said he talked to him. Okay? That's where November 6, 22, Trinity Gospel, the investigators were talking. The agent that actually called her back was the one that told on her to that church the night before. An officer verified it. Oh my Lord. And they walk off. He called me a liar. And instead of, my God, I want to know how they find out. See, and then where I try to report what happened at Huntington Bank. In Giant Eagle, about hearing that guy's voice, I can't believe she's here. It's the same one as I got her, and she got away. And I stood up and he came up behind me, and he's like, "I'd stab you right here now if it wasn't for that security guard." And the Pizza Hut lady said, "Are you going to stab her and get it over with?" He said, "I won't make it out for that security guard." And I turned my cart right into the bank. Real quick, I want to open an account. Look over, and she walks up next to me. I get paid to watch her. Banker's like, "Lady, stay out of it." She's like, "No, I get paid to watch her." Lays her head down on the desk. He's like, "Lady, I mean, it won't be worth it. Stay out of this." And she's like, "No, I get paid to watch her." Well, he yells at her again, and she walks off, and I look over, and the guy that tried to kidnap me, tried to carjack me, threatened to knife me, walks off with her too, and Dave instantly calls me, and I put him on hold. Now, was there a camera above the bench where you were sitting when you heard his voice? I don't know, because I couldn't believe she's here. And I stood up and turned my car. Okay, that's when he came up behind me. Was there a camera above that bench? I don't know. You don't know. You better say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. Now, was there a camera above that bench or not? I don't know. He's like, "Now either say it or I'll put you in jail." It's like, fine, whatever. That was the Detroit Boys' kidnapper. He's still loose. He already killed Lori's family member, and he took Marlisa's niece, the girl at the ATM. There's a 15-year-old kid. And my one friend that said that where that agent did open a case, that they were using the one that he opened with me to get those people in the human trafficking scam, that they knew about the Texas group. And I'm like, the Kingsmen. He's like, "Is that what they call themselves?" They went down and talked to a retired judge involved in this big human trafficking scam, and he killed himself. There was another judge in another state, and they're going to use that case that agent opened to get these people. And 3 weeks later, they got 800 people nationwide. I knew 3 weeks before it happened. Now, where that agent did that, he let the Detroit Boys' kidnapper get away. And then he made me beg for my life and then listed me informant, $5,000 a month, diplomatic immunity for life, even when you tell. We'll always put it back as if it never happened, and you can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. I opened an account with $5,000 a month, and it'll grow until the case is over. And or keep growing. How did he put it? He said, I'll open $5,000 a month and you'll have it to live on when the case is over. And he said, oh, you'll have it from now on for working this case. I'm in diplomatic immunity. I'm supposed to get $5,000 a month. It's part of the witness protection program. You only get 60 grand a year. And for laying your life down, getting them information, and then you get immunity so they can't come back after you and get even with you for telling. And then threaten me if I told. They said he stole December 2nd, 22 at Wendy's Alliance, one of the guys that watched me. He was in there and he said the one guy with him, is that the one that church tried to have killed? He said, yes. He said, I heard she didn't get any money of this. He said, no, it's the one man from the case stealing every dime for herself. So I'm just wondering. See, I didn't believe Will was real. See, a cop showed up the next day and he got back. He said, I just got back from asking Dave about the threats of life. I thought, what about the agent that was just at the church? Huh? You know what I mean? And he shows up a lot here and there and tells everybody I'm an informant. It's for even when you tell. And like my friend from the prosecutor's office, the FBI cannot drop you ever. They can move you to a different witness protection program, but they'd have to talk to you first. He said otherwise you stay an informant for life, and because the failure to protect is abuse and misconduct, they can never let you go. Someone tried to kill you, they could always hire someone else. See, that's where I was up in Hartville, and some idiot was up there saying they taped me before they called the police on them. Police said they had no right. Okay? Well, he shows up and tells them I'm an informant. It's just like today, I went down and just had dinner with a friend, and I seen a couple of the guys walk in. I heard Karen's getting out today. See, they're still there. See, that where the people say, oh, Karen's will was in your house before. No, he wasn't. Dave said he didn't meet him till he's seen him at the church. And he told Danny on a tap phone, April 15, 16, 23, where I told him about this weird stalker, Steve and Eric. And that Eric confessing that all the tapes before were him and not me, November 18, 22. Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. And he came in and screamed it out. And then the bruises, the throwing up, they all knew about that. And almost passing out, that some stalker was drugging me, and asked him if they knew about the shower scene in the other room. They didn't know anything. Well, Danny finally calls his dad. He said that he didn't know why that guy confessed. Well, they framed him and drugged him and told him to say it. So they did it in a public place. See, Dave's big mistake, they did it in a home. It's the Fourth Amendment over the house. He said it was only some guy named Pete on his own. Up there, he had hired to tape me unaware and do all those things. Drug, beat, rape me, leave me with bruises, personal infected, and throwing up and almost passing out and not knowing what was happening to me. Do you realize how sick that is? I'm wondering if I wasn't some kind of initiation for Dave to be part of that gang. Because it's a human trafficking gang. That if he really wanted me gone out of his life, that he let him publicly humiliate me, some sex traffic videos of me and him in bed. No wonder he kept touching me. He's probably showing off for the button cameras. Letting them watch me in the shower, sell that, and then photoshopping a shower scene in the other room's asinine. Date rape, drugging me waking up with bruises, throwing up, dizzy, headache, not left my own house, had marks I can't explain. And then I get a personal infection, and I'm going to the doctor getting treated for all this. And nobody knew what was wrong with me. And so where people try to say, Karen's willed it. Pete, retired Judge Pete is part of the human traffickers. He is not Will. He is not Will. He's running around, and I'm telling you, I didn't think Will at the Canton FBI was real. So when I heard Dave threaten Dixie in the baby's life, I actually Googled where he was at, and I found him. They said, they yelled out, Willie's got a list. I'm working on it. He heard Dave. And then when I seen the guy down the street, I swerved around and hit my garage door opener, got my car. I got my car in the garage, shut it, went and locked the house. I called him. They yelled out, Will, she's seen that guy. You tell those police up there to get a hold of it. We're busy. If they were too busy to help me, they should have took my statement and put me in a different witness protection program. I had the drug cartel breaking in, stabbing me with needles, lying in Walmart 62. They had sodium pentothal reports. I'm losing 5 to 7 pounds a week. I have people trying to shoot me in the head driving on. I'm having to slam, tuck, and swerve, and them almost running me off the road. Dave beating me with internal injuries. I was and I had 6 stalkers inside Walmart coming at me and people chasing them off. I was a little busy myself. That agent better not have known about Pete and his dirty tapes of photoshopping, date rape, drugging, everything, when the Fourth Amendment prohibits any illegal surveillance in your home outside a protected lie case with statements. It's a right to privacy. I told you I have a friend that used to work in the prosecutor's office, said some officer was illegally surveilling some Muslim man in his home. He found out, he went to a judge. He said, you knew better than being in that man's home. He has a right to privacy. And he can sue you for this, and I could never look or listen. You knew better than being in his home. It throws the whole case out. See, that's where that officer had to talk to Dave. See, that agent opening that case and agreeing to protect me and put me in that witness protection program of the informant program and the money and the immunity. I only have the immunity right now. I never got the money. And I wonder in 18 if they didn't go back and because they monitor everything, that they didn't find him, badger me on the phone. It's instantly 5 to 20 years. And withholding money or misdirecting it is 5 to 30. So there's probably a good chance he's in jail. And they just boxed up his cases. And see, that's where it never got closed. He never contacted me again. You just can't walk out on a case. And he just let the drug cartel go crazy on me. But he started that case. The police work it. There is legal surveillance, and the other police departments are using it to get these human traffickers. And believe it or not, my ex-husband and that retired judge still run around with our hate crime. And people lap it up like dogs. And then when people realize they didn't have a right in my home, they're like, how did we fall for that? I'd like to know that too. You're really not that stupid. I know you're not. I mean, it just comes down to the point. We live in the United States of America. Everybody knows they can't be in your home outside a protected lie case with statements. It's entrapment. It's automatically illegal search and seizure. Your husband that's trying to kill you cannot hire some man to stalk you, Photoshop scenes, break in, date rape, druggy, until you say something stupid and you just have bruises all over you. They were drugging the hell out of me in the protected custody case. I lost 5 to 7 pounds a week. I lost 70 pounds in 4.5 months. Do you know that retired judge runs around and calls me the woman too stupid for another man? I was a little busy to find somebody. People are trying to shoot me. I got stalkers. I got bashed in the back of the head on 12/21/18, beat, raped, and the Alex Judge Pete's son took credit for in protected custody. He needs to be in jail. That whole family's fucked up. See, that's where the whole thing of it is. They need to rip the hell out of that case and go back and get these people where they're getting the drug cartel and the people connected into them. The main players need to go to jail. Then maybe this craziness will stop and they won't hurt somebody else. This is where people need to realize how stupid they're being manipulated by my ex-husband and his drug whore's father pulling a fast one down here. And I tell you, I bet I was the initiation for him to get in that gang, for them to use to help destroy me, that he'd be willing to let him do it to me before. See, that agent better not have known about it. And if he did, I wonder how many other people he defrauded of money. Do you realize what kind of sick animal would tell somebody they would protect them, give them money, pull them out, and then just leave them for a drug cartel to abuse, drug, rape, beat, and try to shoot and not hide that poor soul? Do you realize what kind of sick bastard would do that to someone? But he opened that case and it just kept running. It's still running. Like I said, one of my guys showed up. And, yeah. They're still there. And I have several of my security team, just like March 23rd, 23. They came into Walmart 62 again by the hair salon. We told these people stay out of it. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She never hurt anybody and they never seen anything. They're the ones that made fun of Dave in 18 for get a gun. Oh my God, Karen, you don't know what's going on. Get a gun. And somebody just pulled in next to us. Somebody already tried to shoot me that driving. Do you think I was worried about somebody just pulling in and too afraid to get out of their car because some idiot's yelling, get a gun? I told them to beat him with my purse. They laughed at him. They're undercover police officers that have been verifying everything. They all know I'm innocent. We all know this woman's innocent. They interviewed my family undercover so they would not be brought into a murder investigation. Where Dave said I had men around me, act like they wanted me, they were a little busy taking care of the stalkers that would show up in stores they hired. My brother even seen my security team out in Medina. They followed me out there. I'll tell you what, some of those investigators did any time to make me smile. They would be ahead of me, they'd be beside me, they'd be behind me at times. And the two that were ahead of me, they were joking with each other. Were you speeding? Were you speeding? I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. Okay. And I thought, yes, you were speeding. You were ahead of me. But they did anything to make me smile because I was living through such horror. And retired Judge Pete was telling everybody he was Will from the Canton FBI and that nobody could help me. I'm telling you, I bet Will's been in jail. Because where did he go? You just can't walk out on a case. You just don't leave your informant. You just don't move them out. That's where if they went through quality control and listened to him badger me on the phone, he instantly went to jail. And then where you open that account with money and disperse it, it's embezzlement. It's instantly in jail. And they would just box up his case. And I'm probably sitting in some file room while the case is still running and the police are still protecting me. That's where all this is insane. And it needs to be taken care of. I told the Director of National Intelligence and the Department of Justice and the hotlines. Because this has got to the point, I almost died several times. I have a dent in my head. I have a damaged rib cage. I've been raped. I've been tortured by a drug cartel. I have been publicly humiliated. I have been drugged till I lost 70 pounds. I've been human trafficked in protected custody. And someone needs to fix this. And I almost died to save my family and kept them out of this and let them go after me so they wouldn't kill my children and my grandchildren. Do you realize how sick and evil Dave is to hire those people? He could have just divorced me. He could have done it at Lennox. And I'm telling you, that young blonde girl and that old couple, does he think it's funny bringing her here? That was March 18. And then the human trafficker, Detroit Boys kidnapper, showed up after that. And they were one of the mean parents. For him and Jack had a plan since March. And I bet that was Jack. Could you imagine doing this to a human being? If you got offered the chance to have a drug cartel help you rape, destroy, and kill, would you take it? It's like working for the mafia. Would you walk away as fast as you can? I told you, Lennox, our house payment was only like $560 to $650. You could have just gave me that old house. It makes $110,000. You could have went off and bought another house. Give me a little bit of alimony, and we could have just signed papers. I may have loved him with all my heart, but you know what? Nothing on God's green earth is ever worth any of this. And I couldn't imagine doing this to a human being or even making fun of a victim. Where have people lost their minds in doing such horror to victims? I'm going to upload this.